Professor Agarwal, thank you for taking the time to speak to me. I am a very famous journalist. My name is Dhaya Lakshminarayanan.
Nice to meet you, Miss Lakshminarayanan. So if you're a famous journalist, how come I haven't heard about you so far?
Good job on my last name. You can call me Dhaya. Now, Vikas, I wanted to talk to you about your research on sibling rivalry for my article, which will appear in a very widely circulated publication.
Although I'm skeptical about your credentials, I always love when anybody asks me to describe my research.
Great. I'm intrigued by your research because my childhood with my sister was very much in line with Frank Sulloway's 2001 article, Birth Order, Sibling Competition, and Human Behavior, published in Conceptual Challenges in Evolutionary Psychology.
What? So what exactly does your sibling do? Is she also a famous journalist like you?
I'm more famous, but my sister is more successful, which is why I've been reading Richard Zwigenhoff's 2002 paper in Political Psychology and Hanushek in Journal of Political Economy 1992 and Argus et al. In 2006.
Wow, I'm super impressed, Dhaya. I think the knowledge that you have, you deserve an honorary doctorate in sibling rivalry studies. But I have something I can share based on my own research on sibling rivalry. So we looked at a very large sample of mutual fund managers, and we collected information on where they were born within the family. Were they earlier born or they were later born? And we found that the later born fund managers, they tend to take much more risk. So they are more sensation seeking. And we linked it to this idea which comes from evolutionary psychology. The evolutionary psychology says that if the parents have limited resources, then the children tend to fight for those limited resources and they tend to take more risk. So what type of resources are we talking about? The attention that the parents can give to their children or the financial resources that they have. So we find that this behavior that they imbibe growing up continues to show up even when they become fund managers much later in their lives. And they tend to take much more risk. Much more risk is in terms of making more extreme types of bets, investing in lottery kind of stocks, and even to the extent of getting into trouble with the regulators and committing some violations, civil or regulatory violations. And surprisingly, we don't find that their performance is better. In fact, they perform worse despite taking more risk.
Yes. Is there a fund manager equivalent of she stole my dolls and I won't get them back?
Exactly. As I said, we found that they do get into trouble with the regulators.
That's great.
So is your sister a later sibling?
I'm an only child.
What? I thought you said you have a sister.
I'm sorry, Professor Agarwal, I lied. I'm an only child, but even worse, I'm not a journalist. I'm a comedian. And I've been doing stand-up and it hasn't been paying well. So I thought I would give it a shot interviewing academics.
How much are you getting paid for this?
Nothing, but I'm taking a calculated risk.
You sound like a firstborn to me.
Oh, thank you. I guess. But do you have any research on only children being funnier?
I wish I had the data. Do you have any jokes that you can share with me?
Yes, I'm working on a new set right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, hedge fund managers. Hedge fund managers, am I right? Those guys, and I mean guys, who say oops when you ask, hey, where's my money? The worst decision you can make is investing money with a fund manager with an older sibling. The second worst is trying to do stand-up about hedge funds.
Wow, that was funny. That was funny, guy.